What is up, guys? Delboy here. So, after Vasyl Lomachenko's win over Jose Pedraza this weekend in a fight where he unified the WBO and WBA lightweight titles, a lot of people are now talking about Gervonta Davis and Vasyl Lomachenko. Jose Pedraza is a common opponent for both Lomachenko and Gervonta Davis, and people are comparing the performances of both guys. You know, they're talking about who done a better job on Jose Pedraza, and that is fair enough. They are also talking about a potential fight between Lomachenko and Gervonta Davis, and again, that's fair enough. Nothing wrong with that whatsoever. But a lot of people now are saying, oh well, look, Gervonta Davis beat Pedraza in better fashion, therefore he beats Lomachenko. And they are using that line to really discredit Lomachenko, you know. And I do have an issue with that. I am assuming most people watching this video are hardcore boxing fans, you know. If you make videos online about boxing and you follow a lot of boxing content creators, you comment on boxing on social media, chances are you are a hardcore fan. And as boxing fans, we should know better, you know. Just because Fighter A does better against Fighter B than Fighter C does, it doesn't mean Fighter A will definitely beat Fighter C. You know, Fighter C can beat Fighter A still. There are so many variables when comparing performances. Fighters get better, fighters get worse. Style matchups, injuries, you know, sometimes fighters have off nights. There's a lot of things to consider. So to me, comparing Vasyl Lomachenko's performance with Gervonta Davis's performance is a pointless exercise, because ultimately, when these guys could have fought, Tank Davis was the one who ducked it. We could have already known who was the better fighter, but one guy didn't want to come to the table. And now they are in separate divisions doing separate things, so talk of this fight now is ridiculous. You should have been pushing it when this fight could have happened. But no, a lot of you guys made excuses for Gervonta Davis, saying Davis was too young, you know, he was too green, he wasn't ready for Lomachenko. You was making all the excuses in the world for this guy ducking the fight. And this was at a point when Gervonta Davis had already been a world champion, so he was already at the elite level. What do you mean he was green? Gervonta Davis didn't vacate his title because he wasn't ready for elite level competition. He was stripped of his title because he couldn't make the weight. If he said, do you know what, I've got this title, but I'm not ready for the elite level competition, so I'm going to vacate, fair enough. Don't take the Lomachenko fight. But that's not what happened. What do you mean Tank Davis was too green? You excused this guy for ducking at the time, and now, all of a sudden, because you saw slight flaws in Lomachenko's performance, you are now calling for this fight. The ship has sailed for now. Both guys are operating in separate divisions. Lomachenko is at lightweight, Gervonta Davis is at super featherweight. Lomachenko has been vocal about his goals at lightweight, and first and foremost it is to unify the division. So he is now going after the IBF title. The IBF title will be contested between Richard Comey and Isa Chaniev. That fight should happen in February, and Lomachenko is looking at fighting the winner. So Lomachenko is looking to unify. He's at lightweight. Gervonta Davis is at super featherweight. Gervonta Davis is looking at fighting Abner Mares, another featherweight, coming up a division, coming off a loss. Come on now. You should have asked for this fight when it could have happened. Right now, talks of this fight are kind of pointless. I am not hating on Gervonta Davis. In fact, he is one of my favourite American fighters right now, and how his career is stagnating is worrying. But I'm not going to sit here making excuses for him. When the fight should have happened, it didn't happen, and it wasn't Lomachenko's fault. That is the reality. I don't get why people are talking about this fight now when Lomachenko is trying to unify lightweight. You know, in the last couple of years, how many people have we heard say, oh, unifications mean more than anything? Well, Lomachenko is trying to unify at lightweight. Some of the criticism this guy gets is far too over the top. I'm sure this guy is doing more than your favourite fighter. This guy has granted fans' wishes more than once. How many people were saying Lomachenko needed to fight Rigondeaux? A lot of people. Lomachenko didn't want that fight because he felt it was easy. But the fans pressured him, he took it, he embarrassed Rigondeaux, and he moved on. People wanted that fight. People wanted the Nicholas Walters fight. Maybe some of you guys haven't been around long enough, but the Nicholas Walters hype was real at one point. So many people were picking Walters to beat Lomachenko, it was unreal. It wasn't like one or two people. Plenty of people were taking Nicholas Walters in that fight. Nicholas Walters got embarrassed. A lot of people wanted to see Lomachenko versus Gary Russell Jr. because after the Salido loss, a lot of people felt Gary Russell was going to beat Lomachenko. But again, Lomachenko took it and he beat Gary Russell. A lot of people were happy with the Linares fight. You know, Lomachenko has given us good fights already in 13 fights. And he will continue to do so. He wanted to fight Tank Davis. He wanted to fight Mikey Garcia. He has a track record of wanting to fight the best. Now I know a lot of people go back in retrospect and try to discredit Lomachenko. You know, the Walters fight is a good example. The Rigondeaux fight is a good example. You know, a lot of people called for these fights. They just got it badly wrong and they're embarrassed. So, listen, I am not saying Lomachenko is perfect, but the fact is he is doing far more than the vast majority of fighters out there, and any praise this guy gets is warranted. Peace.